Hey friends, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing so well, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about a question I get all the time as a full-time reseller that shares my journey reselling on this platform, and that is how to make daily sales on Poshmark. So people are asking, really, how can I sell more items more quickly? And they're trying to avoid having days where they don't sell anything at all. And that's what we're all trying to do, right? We're trying to sell something, at least one thing a day. And a lot of us are trying to sell way more than just one item per day. So today is gonna be a good video. If you guys are new to Poshmark, or if you are just new to the reselling in general, then this should be a really helpful video for you. And even if you have been around the block and been on Poshmark for years, this also will probably still hold some valuable information for you. So let's jump into it, shall we? So I have about 10 tips here of how to make daily sales on Poshmark, how to increase those sales and their frequency. And the first one I have here is to list every day, which sounds like a no-brainer, but listing every day is so much harder to actually execute than it sounds. And I'm guilty of not being able to also list every day. If you also struggle to list every single day, you're not alone. But listing every day is a surefire way to increase your sales. Even if you're listing items that aren't necessarily the items that are selling, by listing every day, you're showing Poshmark that you're an active seller, and they really do encourage their buyers to buy from active sellers. So they'll push your listings higher up, especially if you are more active. If you have never touched the platform for like 6 months, they're not gonna be pushing your items as heavily, because also people that aren't as active on the platform cancel more sales. So the first thing is listing every day. Even if that's just getting one listing out the door, even if it's just listing selling for $10, that can really help you to sell other things too. So listing every day sounds horrible. It is horrible. And you can decide for yourself too. If you don't want to have to list on the weekend, then you don't do it, but then you might also not make as many sales. There's pros and cons to every approach, but finding that magic number that when you list that number each day, you lead to more sales, that is the key. So listing every day is super important. Just listing in general, super important. Getting fresh new items in. And here's a trick I've learned too for when listing every day is really difficult. It's actually one of my other tips, and that is to relist old items often. So whether you use a service like Vendue, which I use, or you can do this directly on Poshmark, you can go up and click on an item that has been listed for a long time. And if it's been listed for, maybe over 90 days, that's usually a good threshold of when I would relist an item. If you go in, you can delist an item and relist it. So I use Posher VA, and that just lets me do that automatically. It has a feature on it that says Posher VA delist and relist, and I can choose on a page to delist and relist maybe like 90 items that have been available for over 90 days, and it'll just automatically do it for me, which is so helpful. And you can also pick to delist and relist items in your closet. You can do the entire closet at once. There's so many great options. And you can also do it by hand by making a copy of your listing, taking out the word copy, because Poshmark, when you make a copy of a listing, that's down at the bottom. When you make a copy of a listing, it will copy all the information over and just say the word copy in the title. So delete the copy from the title, delete that word, make sure your title still makes sense, and then hit list, and then go and delete the one that you copied. And that will come in as a fresh new listing on Poshmark, even though it's the exact same item, because you started a new listing. That counts as listing selling new. So if you're struggling to list every day, even if you use the delist relist feature on Posher VA or do it manually, that will also go towards listing every day. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. But yeah, we're not even to the part where I wanted to talk about Posher VA, but let's go there now. Why don't we? The next tip is to get a virtual assistant. A VA is what some people call them, like Vendue, Posher VA, etc. Some people use physical people, like literal people, to help them with their business. I find that AI and automating my systems has made my life a lot easier. But to make daily sales on Poshmark, something like Vendue and Posher VA are super important. And I have a code for both of them so you guys can get percentages off. So for Posher VA, if you use my link, you get 20% off. And if you use Vendue, you also get 20% off. So definitely worth it if you're thinking about upgrading your business to use those links just to get your percentages off. I like to use discounts anytime I can. But Posher VA is what I use to share my closet. I also use it to delist and relist. I use it to send out offers to likers. I use it to follow people. I use it to share other people's listings. Super incredible and helpful platform. I really recommend it, and I've worked with them in the past. I haven't worked with them in a while, but Posher VA, I could never go without it now. It's helped me so much in making sales on Poshmark. And the other thing I use is Vendue, and actually Vendue is in partnership with me on today's video. They are sponsoring a portion of today's video, and I really enjoy using Vendue. So besides having things do the automated processes for you, Vendue is how I cross-list. And I'm going to talk about cross-listing here in a second because that is another tip for making daily sales on Poshmark. They also keep my items fresh in my closets and keep it in order by using their automatic sales detection and delist feature, which is so helpful. But also some new exciting information is that they're doing a giveaway this month. And this is so incredible. I'm going to have to read this to you because it's amazing. The month of June, as long as you list 20 new items on Vendue to Depop, then you're going to be entered to win a $500 Etsy gift card. And also, Depop is not charging any fees for items listed and sold during June, which is huge. So we're in June right now. If you're already on Vendue, this is the time to be listing. I didn't realize how easy it is to list 20 items to Depop. I already have all of those listings in my Vendue. I can just go over and move them to Depop, and then I'll get entered to win. But also, no fees in June is huge. So if you're already on Vendue, make sure you're listing some things to Depop this month and hopefully selling some stuff on Depop and getting no fees. That's huge. Not having fees is amazing. And then also, if you're not already on Vendue, definitely check out Vendue. It is so worth your money. It really does help me to make so many more sales, and you'll get 20% off if you use my link, and that helps to support my business. So all that being said, get a virtual assistant, Vendue, Posher VA. There's other ones on the market, but those are the ones I recommend, and I have tried quite a few. So that is awesome. And then I was talking slightly about cross-listing. This is the next step, is to cross-list. And that is, even if you're focusing on growing your Poshmark business, making daily sales on Poshmark, I have found sometimes that when I sell something on eBay, I will make a sale on Poshmark as well. And I don't know how it all works. This is the thing about the internet. A lot of it is a mystery, but I also know for a fact that if somebody sells something similar to my item on a different platform, the item on my platform is more likely to sell too. So just cross-listing in general, that will help improve your business as a whole, but also it can also help you make daily sales on Poshmark as well. So cross-listing, and obviously I use Vendue for that. It's made my life so much easier. Another tip, and this is Poshmark specific, is to share often. It is imperative on this platform that you're constantly sharing because their algorithm, it takes what things are shared the most recently and puts them at the top of everybody's feed. So if somebody is searching for an item, it is going to show, people, we're fickle. If we're looking for an item, do you think we're going to go to page 8 of the results? Maybe, if we're looking for something very specific. But in general, we're only looking on that first page of results. And if we don't find your item there, then we're probably not going to buy it. So the more you share, the higher up on the page you go, the more likely your chance of success at selling your item is. So that is the weird thing about Poshmark, is that you have to share your listings, and that's just how it is. It's how it's always been. And so to share them, again, I use Posher VA to share my listings, and I have them share, I think, like 10 times a day and through the night as well. I used to do it all by hand, and then I just gave up. I think Poshmark has rules against Poshbots, but at this point you have to be able to do that in order to play the game, which is unfortunate. But for me, again, I was spending hours each day sharing my items, and now I have that automated and I have all that time back, and that was worth for sure the $20 I spend a month or whatever it is on Posher VA to do that for me. Definitely worth it. I've gotten so many hours of my time back. So we talked about sharing. We talked about getting a virtual assistant, listing every day, cross-listing, relisting old items. And then this, I think, is a really good one, is sending offers to likers. And that's another thing about Poshmark, is that you can send offers to likers pretty frequently. And all you have to do to send a new offer is to lower your offer by 10% each time you send it. And again, I use Posher VA to send all my offers. I set it up automatically to do that. And so I don't have to worry about sending offers. The only time I will send an offer myself is if I see somebody bundling items. And if somebody has bundled a couple items, I will go in and I will kind of add up, how much do I want to get for this piece? Like if I sell all these pieces, am I okay with getting $20 for this piece instead of $50? Things like that. And then I'll send them an offer, myself. But I like to be on the platform, making sure I'm sending those offers to bundles. And then also I have Posher VA sending offers all the time for my items as well. And then every once in a while, I will also go in and I'll go into Posher VA. I didn't even mean to talk about Posher VA this much, but it really is imperative for my Poshmark. I'll go in and I will say anything that's older than 90 days, I'll send out an offer to anyone who's liked anything older than 90 days for 40% off. And I find that that is a great way to kickstart my sales. People get that 40% offer on Lily Pulitzer, Madewell, Lululemon, all these amazing brands. I don't really discriminate, and then I can move my sales. And then I have found that once you sell one thing, you'll start selling more things. And that's something else that I have also realized, how to make daily sales on Poshmark. Another thing I've realized is that sometimes I'll have a dry spell when it feels like a couple days in a row I'm not selling anything, I can't get any movement. Those are the days I usually run those 40% off sales, but also accept reasonable offers, or even semi-reasonable. You have to be open to selling things for less than you want to make off of them, with the hopes that that will also lead you to selling more items. So I've noticed that sometimes I will not get any sales, and then I'll get a semi-good offer. Like maybe I'm selling listed at $50 and somebody offers me $30 or $25. Sometimes I will accept those offers just because I have found too that Poshmark rewards those sellers who accept offers, the sellers who are moving their items and not just haggling. And so I will accept an offer sometimes on something just in order to get those sales moving. And as soon as I start making one sale, it feels like it kind of snowballs from there. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Another tip is to be involved in the reselling community. I know I'm pretty involved in the community just because of this platform. I'm constantly talking with other resellers. I'm also reaching out to other people that make videos about reselling and people on Instagram, things like that. But doing so can help you learn so much. It's not just that you are making friends in this community, but that you are learning. So by making those friends, by talking to people, by watching other people's YouTube videos, by doing things like this, you're really setting yourself up for success, for learning brands, for learning styles, for learning keywords, things like that you can put into your listings that will help you make more daily sales. And also it will help you so much just to know what you're picking up as well. Like you'll pick up better quality items the more you learn from other people in this space. You can also learn these things on your own. It just will be taking a lot more time. You are going to exponentially increase the speed of your learning if you also listen to other people. So super helpful. So all of those things combined help you to make daily sales. And the last thing I have here is to keep sourcing. Even if you're having a dry spell, if you are picking up good items, they will sell eventually. Maybe you have them listed too high. Maybe it's just a bad time of the week to be listing it. Maybe it's the wrong season. Eventually things will sell. And so even if you have a dry season, keep on sourcing. And the more variety you have in your closet, the better. If you're finding you're not having any movement and all you're picking up is Lululemon size 2 and that's all you have in your closet, maybe it's time for some variety in picking up something in a larger size, a different brand, a different style. You have to just kind of test the waters, see what works for you, and give things a go, but keep on sourcing. You're gonna have to keep on looking for items, try to get them at a low cost, especially if you're in a dry spell, but finding new items, trying out different things. If you're having trouble selling shoes, then, pivot, switch to trying to sell shirts, things like that. By increasing your variety, you're going to help yourself increase your sales. And then the last tip, and it goes hand in hand with the keep sourcing, is to expand your horizons. So I'm primarily a women's clothing reseller. So I love to sell women's clothing, shoes, accessories, things like that. But I've been kind of expanding my vision now into men's clothing, learning about men's clothing, picking up men's clothing to sell, picking up children's clothing to sell. And so I'm doing that to increase what I can be selling. But that's another tip. If you want to make more daily sales, having more variety, having a variety of sizes, styles, categories, those things are going to be helpful to you so very much. So hopefully all of these tips are helpful. Hopefully they make sense to you. I've talked a lot about it. Let me recap some of what I talked about. We're talking about listing every day, getting a virtual assistant, cross-listing, sharing, relisting old items, sending offers to likers, being involved in this community, accepting reasonable offers, and sourcing, and then also keeping a variety of items in your closet. These are all things that can really help you to increase your daily sales on Poshmark and should help you get out of a dry season too, if that's what you're in. I feel like I'm kind of in a dry season right now, so this is the video I need as well for myself, things that should help me to also recover from it. And also a reminder too that as I'm filming this, if you're watching it when it's live, we're in the summer slowdown right now. In summer, it is just a naturally slower time for reselling. People are going places, they're on vacation, they're not actively shopping, they're not in school, things like that. So keeping that in mind, mine. Hopefully this is really helpful for you guys. I know this is sort of the information I like to share, try to encourage you guys that you're not alone, that it is hard work, but you can make daily sales if you do some of these new habits. Let me know if you guys would add any other tips to this list. Let me know in the comments for sure. And also let me know if you've tried some of these items and if they've helped you to do better on making daily sales. But those are all of the tips and tricks I have for you guys. If you guys are new here, or if you've been around for a while and just haven't hit that subscribe button, I would so appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button and give today's video a thumbs up. Those are the best and easiest free ways to support my channel. And make sure if you're not already using Vendue or a service like that, check out Vendue. It really is such a game changer in my business. And also don't forget that they're doing that Depop little giveaway for $500. That is no small change, plus no fees on Depop selling in June. Amazing. Make sure you check that out. So thank you again for Vendue for working with me on today's video. I really do appreciate them and how they have supported my channel and made it so possible for me to give you guys free content. So thank you guys so much for supporting me, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And until the next video, bye.